Okay, quick video with just a couple of miscellaneous techniques. One thing I didn't mention is that the prototype, the function prototype, we talked about that one-liner up at the top, that's actually not necessary as long as you define the function up at the top before main. So you can skip the prototype if you define the function before main. So that 1, 2, 3 approach that we started with is not absolutely necessary. But you know what, it probably does make your code cleaner and more organized if you just stick with that classic approach with the prototypes at the top and putting the definitions down below, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Your code will be a little cleaner, especially if you have a lot of functions in your program or the functions are kind of long. So, but you do have the option of skipping the prototype like I've done here. This is the definition only. It's up at the top here before main, and that's that. Okay, now another technique in this video is you can provide default values for parameters. So here I have a function prototype, and we have 2 parameters. This is like printing a character X number of times. And I have the character parameter, my default, I provided a default here, which is the smiley face. And then we have an integer to represent the number of times to print that character. And I've provided a 2500, just kind of a random default value there. So that is the prototype. You can say I've provided the default values in the prototype, and then the definition down below, just a syntax note here. Notice that there's no sign of the default values. So you don't repeat those in the definition head. This is the function header. I don't know if I use that term yet in any of the videos, but this is the function header, the top line of the function. You don't repeat those defaults in the header, the function header. They're only up there in the prototype. So now we're home free. I'm just printing the character ch from the ch parameter, this number of times, whatever's coming through the door in the num times parameter. And then when I'm calling these functions that have defaults, you have a couple of ways to call the function now. Because you provided defaults, you don't necessarily have to provide arguments. If you don't do arguments, then the defaults will be used. So this function call will give me the 2500 smiley faces. Or if you want to override those defaults, then you can provide arguments. And in this case, we'll get 5000 hearts. So that's it.